Okay, chapter 5 is talking about cash control systems. 5.1 is all about checking accounts. So, a checking account is a bank account from which payments can be ordered by a depositor. Oftentimes, businesses will use what is called a deposit slip to place checks and cash into their business checking account. Deposits are always going to be added to a previous balance, so it's going to increase our cash account, which would be a debit. When we fill out a deposit slip, we often list the check numbers and the check amounts, and then we total that deposit slip at the bottom. If we are depositing checks, there's a couple different endorsements, which is the signature or stamp that is placed on the back of a check, transferring that ownership. So a blank endorsement is normally just a signature. So if you got a check today and you wanted to go cash it, you would just sign your name on the back. That would be a blank endorsement. A special endorsement has the words pay to the order of involved, which if you wanted to transfer that ownership to somebody else, then you would sign your name and then do pay to the order of the person that you are transferring the ownership to. A restrictive endorsement is normally going to restrict what can be done with that check. So most of the time we see for deposit only to the account, and then there's a signature, meaning that that check can't be cashed. It can only be deposited, which is what a lot of businesses do. And they normally have a special stamp that they stamp the back of their checks with. So there are some steps in preparing a check stub. I'm not going to read through those, but I encourage you to read through them in your notes. We're going to actually do that in MindTap. We're also going to prepare checks, but I do want to point out that anytime a check has a date with a future day, so like if you got a check today, but the check was posted for 30 days from now up here, then that would be considered a post-dated check. Most banks aren't going to accept those until the date that the check is written for. So read through preparing a check. Down here is an example of a check. So this perforated dotted line, the right, this part is the actual check. This part on the left is the check stub. The check stub stays with the owner of the check. So oftentimes it's in a checkbook. Businesses have check stubs in order to remember what checks were written for and the amount, and also allows them to know what their balance in their checking account is. If for any reason we need to void a check, meaning the amount was incorrect, the date was wrong, we paid it to the wrong person, we would write void across the whole check, and that just indicates that that check no longer can be used and that check had some errors in it. Okay, let's go to MindTap. So 5.1 work together. The first part is endorsements. So a blank endorsement is simply just going to be your signature. So in this case, MindTap wants you to write student's signature. A special endorsement, as I was talking about, is transferring the ownership to someone. So in this case, we're doing a special endorsement to transfer ownership to Clara Kwan. So it would be pay to the order of Clara Kwan would be the second line. And then you would sign your name. A restrictive endorsement is going to restrict what we can do with the check. So they want us to write a restrictive endorsement to deposit a check into the account of Grantsburg Accounting. So for deposit only to the account of Grantsburg Accounting. And then finally, you would sign it. Signature. Okay, so those are endorsements. Step 2, we're going to fill out check number 151. We're also going to record the check stub. So we're going to record the balance on check stub number 151 of $2,145.88. This very top box, I don't know if you can see this perforated line, is going to reiterate what the check is written for. This bottom box is going to be more for our accounting records, updating our balances and such. So we're also going to record a deposit of $316 made on June 30th. And then we're going to finally write check number 151 to A1 Computers for repairs of $148. We're going to use June 30th as the date. So first we need to record our balance brought forward, $2,145.88. It also told us that we had a deposit of $316 on June 30th. So June is the 6th month, 30, $316. Next is our subtotal. So we're going to add that deposit to our total. So $2,145.88 plus $316 is going to give us a new balance of $2,461.88. This other line is normally if we have a bank service charge. In this case, they did not tell us that. So we don't have to worry about anything there. So we'll just bring our balance down. $2,461.88. The amount of our check is going to be $148. So 148. Now, when we write a check out of our account, that's going to bring our cash account down. So we're going to subtract 148 from our total here. So $2,461.88 minus 148 is $2,313.88. All right, next step, we're going to fill out our actual check. So we're using June 30th. We are paying A1 Computers. The amount of the check is $148. This is called the legal line. So this is where we're going to write out in words what the check is for. So 100, I can't spell, 48, and we're going to write no over 100 because there is no change. Down here, for, or our memo line, it was for repairs. And then the last step is student's signature. All right, we're not quite done. We got to go back over to our check stub over here and record what this check was written for. So $148. It is June 30th. It was to A1 Computers, and it was for repairs. Okay. Next, we're going to fill out check number 152. So we're going to record our new balance here of $2,313.88. We don't have any sort of deposit, so $2,313.88. No bank service charge, $2,313.88. Then it wants us to prepare check 152 to Southwest Supply for $62 and using the date. So this check is going to be $62. We're going to subtract that. So our new balance here is $2,251.88. All right, now we're ready to fill out our check. Our date is still June 30th. We are preparing a check to Southwest Supply for supplies for $62. So we're paying Southwest Supply. We're paying them $62. On our legal line, we would write 62 and no over 100 because there is no change. Our memo line is going to be supplies, and then we are going to sign it. Finally, we need to go back over here to our check stub and fill out what this check was for. $62, June 30th to Southwest Supply for supplies. Okay, don't forget to do the on your own and if there are any terms.